There's something Joe Dispenza discovered over 20 years ago that he's never fully explained in public. Something about the power of feeling in a specific way that transforms your physical reality in real time. Today, you're going to discover what he calls feeling as if, a way to emotionally occupy the state of already having what you desire before any external evidence shows up. This isn't regular visualization. This isn't positive thinking. This is literally feeling in your body the exact emotions of someone who already lives the reality you want to create. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do this, and 97% of people do it wrong without knowing it. If you found your way here, it wasn't by accident. Your soul is ready to access this manifestation frequency that only 3% of people can sustain. And if you want to be part of this minority that lives an extraordinary life, leave a comment with the word "ready" right now. This will create an energetic connection between us and activate your inner readiness for what you're about to discover. To make sure you receive all the transformation tools I share here, hit the subscribe button now. This way, you join our community of people who are raising their vibration and creating conscious realities. In the next 25 minutes, you're going to understand why most people fail at manifestation, even when they feel they're doing everything right. I'm going to teach you the exact technique Dispenza uses to reprogram your nervous system through this feeling as if, and how you can apply this to literally rewrite your DNA and attract, like a magnet, everything you most desire. But first, you need to understand why your previous attempts haven't worked. I need to tell you about a client I worked with in 2019. I'll call her Sarah to protect her privacy. Sarah was going through one of the most difficult phases of her life. Her 8-year marriage was falling apart. She was facing serious financial problems and felt completely lost. She had tried everything she knew: therapy, self-help books, visualization techniques she found online. Nothing worked. That's when she reached out to me, desperate, asking for help. During our first conversation, Sarah told me something that completely changed my perspective on why so many people fail at manifestation. She said, "I do everything right, I visualize every day, repeat affirmations, I'm grateful for what I have. But nothing changes. It's like the universe doesn't hear me." And that's when I realized the problem. Sarah was doing everything technically correct, but there was a crucial element she didn't know existed. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, like the universe conspires in their favor constantly? It's not luck. It's not privilege. Sarah thought it was, until she discovered what was really happening. These people master a specific emotional state that I'm going to call feeling as if. And when I explained this to Sarah, her eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of recognition. Like she had just remembered something she always knew but had forgotten. Every morning Sarah repeated, "My marriage is perfect. We are prosperous together." But while speaking these words, her body was tense, her heart heavy, her hands trembling. She was sending two completely opposite messages. The words said one thing, but her feelings screamed another. And that's when everything made sense to her. The universe always responds to what you feel, not what you say. Sarah was trying to manifest from a place of lack. It's like trying to fill a cup with a hole in it. She visualized having abundance while feeling fear about bills. She imagined the perfect relationship while carrying loneliness in her chest. It was like trying to tune a radio to two different frequencies at the same time. The universe got confused about which signal to respond to. When I showed Sarah the research Joe Dispenza had done, she was fascinated. He spent decades studying people who experienced seemingly impossible transformations, spontaneous healings, dramatic financial changes, relationships that rose from ashes. And in every case, he discovered a pattern he didn't expect to find. These people managed to sustain an elevated emotional state independent of their external circumstances. They felt gratitude before the blessing arrived. They felt love before finding their ideal partner. They felt abundance before seeing money in their account. "But how is this possible?" Sarah asked, exactly what you might be thinking now. "How can I feel abundant if my bank account is empty? How can I feel loved if I'm alone?" And that's when I explained something to her that changed everything. The answer lies in your body's chemistry. Your emotions are literally chemicals running through your veins. When you feel grateful, your body produces gratitude chemicals. When you feel abundant, it produces abundance chemistry. And these substances don't just make you feel good, they reprogram your genes, strengthen your immune system, and create an electromagnetic field around you that attracts corresponding experiences. It's like you become a magnet for whatever you're feeling. Sarah was quiet for a long moment when I explained this. Then she said, "So that's why the more I worry about money, the less money seems to come." Exactly. Your brain can't distinguish between a real experience and a vividly imagined experience with emotion. It's like when you watch a horror movie and your heart races, even though you know it's just a movie. When Sarah understood this, everything changed. She realized she didn't need to deny her current reality. She needed to expand beyond it. I explained to Sarah that there's a future version of her, a version that already has everything she desires. This version isn't imaginary. In quantum physics, we know all possibilities exist simultaneously. Her task wasn't to create this version. It already existed. Her task was to tune into it emotionally, feel how it feels, until that frequency became her dominant frequency. It's like changing channels on TV. You don't create the programs, you just choose which one to watch. "How do I do this?" Sarah asked. And that's when I taught her something that seemed too simple to work. But it worked. In the first 30 days of applying this technique, Sarah began to see subtle changes. At 60 days, significant changes. At 6 months, she called me crying, but this time with joy. Her marriage had not only recovered, but they were more connected than ever. And financially, she had found a new source of income she never imagined possible. The technique I taught Sarah isn't about pretending or faking. It's about genuinely accessing the emotional state of your desired future. Sarah told me that in the first few days, she would wake up at 6 a.m. still in bed and dedicate 15 minutes to feeling what it would be like to have a loving marriage and a financially stable life. She imagined waking up next to a caring husband, feeling financial security, experiencing inner peace. At first, it felt forced. Sarah even called me in the second week saying she felt silly. "It's like I'm lying to myself," she said. But I explained that this resistance is normal. Her ego, her conditioned mind, was doing what it always does, resisting change like a child throwing a tantrum. She would hear inner voices saying, "This is nonsense. You're fooling yourself. Stop this fantasy." But this resistance was actually a sign she was on the right track. Sarah persisted, and gradually these feelings became more natural, more real. It was like she was remembering something she always knew, but had forgotten. You don't need to create happiness, love, abundance, or peace like they're objects in a store. Your task is to remember that these qualities are your essential nature. It's like a seed that already contains the whole tree within it. The seed doesn't struggle to become a tree. It simply allows its nature to express itself. Sarah discovered there's a specific time of day that makes this practice exponentially more powerful. Right upon waking and just before sleep, your brain is naturally in more receptive wave states. It's like the doors of your subconscious mind are more open. When she practiced feeling as if during these periods, she was directly programming her subconscious with this new emotional identity. It was like planting seeds in the most fertile soil. She imagined what it would be like to wake up every morning, already feeling gratitude for the incredible day she was about to live. Even before opening her eyes, she was already vibrating at the frequency of someone who had an extraordinary life. This wasn't an imagination exercise, it was neurological training. She was literally strengthening the emotional muscles she wanted to use more frequently. During our third session, Sarah told me something that gave me chills. "I'm starting to understand that it's not about getting things. It's about becoming someone who naturally attracts and maintains those things." She was right. It's the difference between winning the lottery and developing sustainable wealth. One is temporary luck that can disappear. The other is permanent transformation that lasts. I taught Sarah a specific structure I use with all my clients. First, she chose a specific aspect of her life she wanted to transform. In her case, it was relationships and financial abundance. Specificity is important because it allows you to access more precise and intense emotions. Here it's like tuning a radio station. The more specific, the clearer the signal. Next, Sarah created what we call a magic moment, a specific scene where she was living her desired reality. It wasn't a long movie, it was a moment. She imagined waking up one morning feeling completely loved and financially secure, looking to the side and seeing her husband smiling at her, feeling that sensation of all is well in my world. It wasn't a vague fantasy. It was a specific, detailed experience she could feel. The magic happened when Sarah dove into this scene not as an observer watching TV, but as someone living the experience. She saw through the eyes of this future version of herself. She felt through this person's body. She experienced the emotions of this reality as if they were her emotions in that moment, because in essence they were. She was simply remembering a future that already existed. Sarah learned to anchor this experience in her physical body. Where did she feel the joy? How did gratitude manifest in her chest? How did confidence alter her posture? The more she could feel these emotions physically, the more powerful the effect. Emotion is energy in motion, and this energy needs to be felt physically to create real change. It's like planting a seed. It needs roots to grow. When I asked Sarah about the moment she knew something had truly changed, she told me, "It was in the 4th week. I had been practicing for almost a month, and suddenly I realized I wasn't trying to feel love for my husband anymore. I just felt it. It was natural. And that same day, he came home with flowers and said he had felt like doing something special for me. There was no special date. He just felt it. It was like the universe had responded to the new emotional frequency she was transmitting. Sarah was transforming from the inside out. When you spend weeks feeling confident, you become a more confident person for real. When you practice feeling self-love, you develop real self-love. External changes are just natural reflections of your internal transformation. It's like you change inside, and the world is forced to keep up. During the process, Sarah asked me an important question. How long does it take to see results? The honest answer is that it varies like fingerprints. Each person is unique. Some people experience immediate changes in how they feel and how others respond to them. Others take weeks or months to see significant external manifestations. But there's something that always happens quickly. You feel better, and this feeling better isn't a side effect. It's the main goal. As Joe Dispenza always says, you can't create an extraordinary life from ordinary emotions. Most people wait for something to happen to feel good, but Sarah learned to decide to feel good first, and then good things happened as a natural result of that choice. It's like being the conductor of your own emotional symphony. Sarah also discovered something important during the day. Whenever she noticed herself in low emotional states, fear, anger, sadness, anxiety, she would pause and ask herself, how would my future version feel in this situation? Then, consciously, she would choose to shift to that emotional state. It seemed artificial at first, like learning any new skill, but with practice it became second nature. Before sleep, Sarah would mentally relive the moments of the day when she managed to sustain elevated states. She celebrated these moments as small victories. The more she recognized and appreciated when she was vibrating high, the easier it became to access those states again. It was like strengthening a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The real transformation happened when this practice stopped being something Sarah did and became who she was. When feeling good, independent of circumstances, became her nature. When she naturally expected good things to happen, because she felt worthy of them. It was like she had changed characters in the story of her life. This transformation is lasting because it happens first at the identity level. It's like planting a tree instead of just decorating a dead branch. When you change who you are emotionally, the world responds to this new version. People start seeing you differently because you're radiating a different energy. Opportunities appear because you're tuned to a different frequency. It's like changing radio stations. Suddenly you hear completely different music. When I spoke with Sarah for the last time, in December 2021, over 2 years after our first meeting, she radiated a peace and confidence I had never seen before. When I asked about the secret of this lasting transformation, her answer was simple and profound. I stopped waiting for my life to change to feel happy. I decided to feel happy so my life would change, and then I realized that happiness was the real treasure all along. This is the deep wisdom behind every genuine transformation technique. What you seek externally, you already possess internally. Sarah learned that her task wasn't to acquire happiness, love, abundance, or peace, but to remember that these qualities are her essential nature. When you connect with this truth emotionally, the outer world has no choice but to reflect this inner reality. You can start exactly like Sarah started. Dedicate at least 10 to 15 minutes every morning to practice feeling as if. Choose an aspect of your life you want to transform and create a specific scene representing that transformation fulfilled. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be felt. During the day, whenever you notice yourself in low states, pause and consciously choose to shift to the state of your future version. Before sleep, celebrate the moments when you managed to sustain elevated states. Remember what Sarah discovered. You're not alone in this transformation journey. This feeling as if technique that Joe Dispenza discovered 2 decades ago isn't about getting things. It's about becoming someone who naturally lives at the frequency of what you desire. It's about remembering that the power was always in your hands, and now you know how to use it consciously. So as we reach the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with the same question I asked Sarah in our first meeting. Who do you choose to be emotionally today? Independent of your current circumstances, which version of yourself do you want to nurture and strengthen? Because this choice made consistently every day will determine not only how you feel, but how your entire life unfolds. If this message touched something deep within you, if you feel you're ready to become a conscious creator of your reality like Sarah became, leave a comment sharing which aspect of your life you're going to start transforming using the feeling as if technique. Your word has power, and by declaring your intention publicly, you're making a sacred commitment to yourself and activating universal forces to support you. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue receiving tools and techniques that will support your ongoing evolution. Together, we're creating a community of people committed to emotional excellence and conscious manifestation. We're a family of awakened souls helping each other remember our true nature. The extraordinary future you desire isn't distant in time like a mirage in the desert. It exists now, in this moment, in the infinite field of possibilities. Your only task is to emotionally tune into it until it becomes your predominant reality, exactly like Sarah did.